Well, at least I got to see 7 of you this morning. That's quite a low number given that there's supposed to be about 45 of you in class. Um, so hopefully, if you weren't in the Zoom class today, please send me a message today. Let me know you're doing okay. You can send it to me email. You can text me. You can send it on Remind. Whatever's easiest for you. But please, just everybody kind of check in with me today, especially if you weren't in the Zoom class this morning. We're going to continue on. Everything, again, is still a review. One thing that I will rehash real quick for those of you that are in the Zoom meeting, you've already heard this, but your grades that are posted from the previous 6 weeks, if you have a 0 on there, that is not NTI work. Okay, those zeros are for work that were due while we were still in school. Anything that has been assigned since that time, since we've gotten out of school, you're not getting a 0 for it. You will have a blank grade. If it comes down to the end of the semester and those have still not been turned in, then those will turn to zeros and those will hurt your grade. So it is imperative that you guys do the work that's being assigned. I'm giving you maybe 1 or 2, sometimes 3 assignments a week, and that's not that much. I realize that this is a difficult time for a lot of us, and it's hard to adjust to this, and so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. There won't be any tests for the remainder of the semester while we are in NTI days. If we come back to school, then we're going to be back to doing the regular things. There may, however, be quizzes, but you guys need to really get this through your heads. You still have to turn this stuff in. Just because it's a blank grade in the grade book for right now, it does not mean it's going to remain that way. When it gets down to the end of the semester, whether we're in school or whether we're still doing NTI days, anything that has not been turned in will go to a 0. That's not my decision. That's just how it has to be because you have other classmates who are turning in their work, and it certainly would not be fair to them to put in that time and effort to do the work, get a score for it, and then everybody else skate by without getting a score at all. So it's either 0 or 100% or somewhere in between there, whatever the case might be. But make sure you're doing this work, guys, please. It is important. So to continue with our review, we're looking at the order of operations. You guys are familiar with the order of operations. This particular page that I've pulled up uses the phrase GEMDAS instead of PEMDAS. I'm going to change this G to a P. I like P better. Parentheses. They refer to them as grouping symbols on here, and that's fine as well. But remember, it's parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. And we're going to just go through a few of the examples. I'm not going to go through both pages in their entirety because you guys don't need me to do that. You're more than capable of figuring these out. What I will do is the ones that I don't cover, if you want to work out some of the others on your own, just to make sure you understand it, please ask me questions. I'm happy to help you guys. I know I spoke with Josh today. He had messaged me yesterday, and I did not ignore him. I did get caught up answering other questions, and I did address Josh's question today. So I may not be immediate on my replies and my responses, but I will answer everything you guys ask, and I'll do my best to make sure I get back to all of you. So what you can see here with example 1 is we do have a group of parentheses that we need to simplify first, and then we can follow the remainder of the order of operations. So we're just going to go ahead and bring down the 29. The 11 minus 2 quantity, or 11 minus 2 cubed, we have to cube that 2 first inside the parentheses. And then one more step to finish out the parentheses. 11 minus 8 is 3. So now we can drop our parentheses. 6 squared is 36. And now we're down to the point where we only have multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction. And we do those in the absence of any grouping symbols from left to right. Multiplication and division come first. So we do have division right here. So 36 divided by 4 will simplify to 9. And then we just do the subtraction and addition from left to right. 29 minus 3 is 26. 26 plus 9 is going to be 35. Let's see, which one do I want to do next? Let's look at number 3. So with number 3, we have a group of parentheses in the numerator here, and we need to simplify that first before we can go on with the problem. So the first thing that we encounter is the absolute value. 10 minus 2, or 10 minus 12 is negative 2. The absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2, plus 5 squared, which is 25, over 9 minus 2 squared. And then we can simplify the parentheses to finish that out, and we get 7 minus 27 over 9 minus 2 squared. So going with the remainder of the order of operations, now we're up to the exponents. So let's simplify our exponent that's in the denominator here, this 2 squared. And that's going to give us 7 minus 27 over 9 minus 4. And when we simplify both the numerator and denominator, we get negative 4 as our final answer. 7 minus 27 is negative 20, 9 minus 4 is 5, and then we're done. The next one that I want to look at will be, let's look at number 6. Again, like I said, I'm going to skip around here, and if you guys want to try some of these on your own that I skip, then please do. The ones that I show you are more than sufficient to help you get the assignment completed, but if you need extra help, don't hesitate at all to ask me. I will be more than happy to help you. On number 6, we do have 2 sets of parentheses in this case. So the first set is 9 minus 15. That's going to give us a negative 6 quantity squared times. And then in the second set of parentheses, it's 7 minus 2 squared. So 2 squared is 4. So now we have 7 minus 4, which is 3. Square root of 49 is 7. Absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So let's finish simplifying this. Negative 6 squared, positive 36, plus 5 is 12. And 36 times 3 is 108. 108 divided by 12 is 9. We get 9 minus 5, which is equal to positive 4. The next set of examples involves evaluating expressions. So we're given expressions that have multiple variables, but we're also given distinct values for each one of those variables that we want to substitute. I will tell you, example 7 is a perfect one to start off with because we have a negative substitution. So when I get to that point, I want to make sure that we remember something that we've talked about several times over in class. So we're going to start out first substituting A with 3. So in our numerator, we have 3 times, and then we have B is being replaced with negative 4. This is where you have to be careful with the substitution, especially if you're using a calculator. Anytime you're substituting a negative number, I will always, always, always encourage you to make that substitution in parentheses. Because if you just type in negative 4 squared in the calculator will tell you that the answer is positive 16 or negative 16. And we know that negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So the calculator is only as good as the information that you type into it. So you do have to be careful with how you type these things in. So negative substitutions, just get in the habit of writing them in parentheses like we did here with the negative 4. We've already discussed it. Negative 4 squared is positive 16. 8 plus 12 is 20. That's going to give us 48 over 20. When you come up with a fractional answer, please reduce it to the lowest terms. 48 over 20 will reduce to 12 over 5 because both the numerator and denominator are divisible by 4. I would also like to look at let's look at number 13 because it has the square root in the denominator. And again, we're doing substitution, so we're replacing W with 2, and we're replacing V with 18. And that's what our problem should look like after the substitutions. 2 cubed is going to be 8, minus 4 times 18 is 72, and that's going to be over the square root of 36. 8 minus 72 is negative 64. The square root of 36 is 6. Again, this will reduce because both of these numbers you can see are even, so that we know that they're divisible by 2. So if we divide everything by 2, we get negative 32 over 3, which does not reduce any further. And that is how you do these substitutions and then simplifications. With the last set of examples, we have simplifying expressions. So this is just simply a matter of combining like terms. 15 is relatively easy, so we'll do it first. We have this 16x and a negative 7x. When I combine those two, I get 9x. Then I have a negative 11 and a positive 10. And when I combine those two, I do get negative 1. So my final answer is 9x minus 1. With example 16, I have this 2 in front of the parentheses, so I have to distribute that 2 through the parentheses first before I can continue with the problem. And I will get 13 plus 6n minus 14. So the 6n minus 14 comes from distributing the 2 plus 19n. And now I can go in and combine like terms. 6n and 19n, 25n. 13 and negative 14 is negative 1. So there's my final answer, 25n minus 1. We're going to do one more, and then you guys will be able to start working on your assignment. We're going to look at number 19. With number 19, I have to distribute this 3 through the parentheses first. And then when I get to the next set of parentheses, what I notice is I have a minus in front of this set of parentheses. Well, we can always think of that as a minus 1. So now I have to distribute that negative through the parentheses, and I'll get minus a plus 7b. And now I can combine like terms again. 9a and negative a is 8a. And then negative 15b and 7b is negative 8b. And that is our final answer. That's the simplified form of our original problem. Work on this assignment. If you have questions, please ask. Remember, you guys can get a hold of me on Remind, or you can email me. Whatever method is easiest for you, use it. But make sure you're doing this work. I do not want to have to put in a ton of zeros at the end of the semester, and you guys have this false sense that you're passing the class without doing anything, and then all of a sudden I put in all these zeros and it's too late. So stay on top of this stuff, guys. I hope you all are doing well, and I'll talk to you soon.